What is a biblical fast? How do I do a biblical fast? How do I even begin a biblical fast? I'm Pastor Steve. We are in the middle of our 40-day time of prayer and fasting, declaring war in the heavenlies, victory in the earth. Thank you for following with us. And this is what I want to talk to you. What is a biblical fast? How do I do a biblical fast? Where do I even begin? Always lots of questions. So I want to share with everyone some practical tips and comments on fasting, and in particular, some things that I do personally. I generally have several calendar dates and events that I like to refer to when starting my fasts. I like to start on the first day of a month, and then this makes it very easy for me to know exactly what day of my fast I'm on. In other words, if the date is the 5th of the month, then I know that I'm on my 5th day of fasting. If the date is on the 12th, then I know that I'm on the 12th day of my fast, and so on. I also like to pick a special day or event to begin my fast, especially the longer fasts. Now, I like to start on January 1st, because it's the beginning of a new year, and fasting is a great way to kick off and set the tone spiritually for the incoming year. I also like to use my birthday to start my fasting. It is obviously an important date for me, and although it does make it a little more complicated to track the actual days that I have been fasting, you can use any date or special event that makes sense to you. It is more important that you actually begin fasting than it is what day you begin with. Another thing, and this may sound gross or out of place, but even though you are fasting and not eating solid foods, be sure that you remember to brush your teeth regularly, maybe more often than you normally would. Those around you will appreciate your spiritual effort all the more. So there are two types of fasts commonly practiced by Christians today: a partial fast and a complete fast. Now, a partial fast is described in the book of Daniel. For 3 weeks, Daniel, who was a prophet during the time when Israel lived in exile, he abstained only from delicacies like meat and wine. You can read this in Daniel chapter 10, verse 3. A complete fast means drinking only liquids or sometimes juice when fasting for an extended period. Juice fasts will provide you with more energy than water-only fasts and still lead you into the humbling experience of denying your desire for solid, chewable food. If you are new to fasting, start slowly. Progressive steps helps your body become accustomed to the drop in food intake. You can start by fasting 1 meal a day, 1 day a week, or 1 week a month. As fasting becomes a part of your spiritual lifestyle, you will be able to increase the number of times and the length of your fasts. Fasting is a marathon, it is not a sprint. So in preparing for the fast, the normal fast involves abstaining from all forms of food, but not from water, and commonly lasts 24 hours, usually from sunrise to sunrise. If you are fasting for the first time, you might begin by missing a meal or two. Over time, you can build up to a full day or more. Begin by refraining from solid food, but drink liquids. Water is the best, since soft drinks are not good for the digestive system, and coffee and tea stimulate the nervous system. Before beginning a fast, it is best to eat lightly and cut back on caffeinated drinks. During the first few days of a multi-day fast, it is common to experience headaches as the body withdraws from caffeine. Now, in my experience of both short and long fasts, the first couple of days are generally the hardest because of habit eating. After the third day, I have found that fasting is fairly easy to continue. Now, although I will declare a specific time of fasting, if I find myself feeling very hungry, I will pray and ask the Lord if this should be the stopping point in the fast or if I should continue. Generally, for the more experienced fasters, once hunger returns, it is time to end the fast. One example of this is found in Matthew chapter 4, verse 2. Matthew 4, verse 2. And when he, Jesus, had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards hungry. So if you are planning for an extended fast, say more than 14 days, you should prepare mentally and physically by cutting down on food intake 1 week before the actual fast, taking on a vegetarian type diet to control cravings for food. Reduce your intake of beverages like coffee, tea, and soft drinks as well. Drink plenty of water. And this is always a good idea whether you're fasting or not. And stop watching television. You will soon discover how much advertising goes on about food. In the morning, you're going to see advertising for lunch. At lunchtime, you're going to see advertising for dinner. Around dinner time, late into the evening, you're going to see advertising for snacks, after school, in between meals and treats. So stop watching television. You will discover that it is so much easier when you're not being inundated with advertising promoting what you deserve to eat at lunchtime. So it's your choice, but I found it easier to eliminate or reduce watching the TV. Now, during the fast, set aside specific and significant time to worship and seek God in prayer. Plan ahead so that your time can be unhurried and conducive to enjoy the Lord. Many people begin this time by repenting of any sins the Lord brings to mind and asking for God's forgiveness. This is essential to ensure that sin is not hindering your communications with the Lord. Then plan time to make your requests known to God and to seek His will. Take breaks to study scripture passages that you have chosen. And do not rush your time with God. Take time to listen. Ask, then listen. Keep a notebook and pen nearby to record the ideas, the insights, the directions, and instructions that He impresses upon your mind. When you turn down the noise of Western civilization by fasting, you can more easily hear the voice of our God. Continue to drink plenty of water. Apple or watermelon juice is a great morale booster. And sleep early. The first days of the fast are usually the most challenging. Persevere through this period. Press in and move on. Consult your doctor if you are unsure of any headaches or bodily reactions. When it comes time to breaking the fast, to ending it, breaking the fast may require as much discipline as beginning it. During the fast, your stomach contracts and your body's digestive and elimination systems are at rest. The longer you fast, the more the digestive organs need to reactivate before functioning at full speed. If you plan to fast only 1 or 2 days at a time, it is best to end the fast with a small glass of fruit juice as your first meal. Gradually introduce small amounts of easily digestible foods such as yogurt, soup, fresh fruit, and cooked vegetables. If your fast continues longer than just a few days, you should continue with juices for a day or more before gradually introducing more substantial foods like yogurt, soup, and fruit. And if you can, homemade soup is better than the store-bought canned soup. There's a lot of sodium in what you buy in the stores. That's just a personal preference of mine. Now be sure that you introduce new food in small quantities and that you chew it very well. You should stop eating at the slightest sensation of fullness. If fasting only a few days at a time, ending the fast should be easier. If you have built up to and desire to fast longer, you should consult your physician and review a health book on fasting. Now, according to the Food and Nutrition Encyclopedia, for healthy individuals, and this is a quote, for healthy individuals, no harm results from short-term fasting. End of the quote. The average person can go without food between 21 and 40 or more days before the body begins to eliminate vital tissue, called starvation. I'm going to read that. I'm going to say that again. The average healthy person can go without food between 21 and 40 or more days before the body begins to eliminate vital tissue. If you have underlying health issues such as pregnancy, anemia, behavioral disorders, or other chronic health problems, you should never fast without consulting a physician first. So, what if you fail at fasting? What if you get partway through and grab a meal? Well, fasting is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes time to build up your spiritual fasting muscles. If you fail to make it through your first fast, don't be discouraged. You may have tried to fast too long the very first time, or you may need to strengthen your understanding and resolve. Keep trying until you do succeed. God will honor you for your faithfulness. There have been times in my fasts that I wanted to go a certain length of time, and I only made it 10 days into it. Just continue, or maybe that's the right time to stop your fast. Start again fresh a week or two later. Pray about it and declare the time. It's not a competition. It is a marathon. God will indeed honor you for your faithfulness. So in conclusion, fasting is a way God's people have humbled themselves before Him for more than 3,000 years. Jesus, David, and many other followers of our God have gone without food for a little while to worship and pray to the one who supplies all of our needs. You will be in good company along your dedicated time of prayer and fasting. Preparation is planning with a purpose. Planning with a purpose is what preparation is all about. If you will set aside a little time and seek the Lord about your reasons for fasting and for how long your fast should be, you will have great success. Start slow and easy, making fasting and prayer a regular part of your spiritual exercise in life. And always ask the Spirit of God to help you when you declare your time of prayer and fasting. So I'm Pastor Steve, and may the Lord richly bless you, prosper you, and keep you safe as you follow hard after Him. Until next time, we'll see you then. God bless.